Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to RiME. So we might be 5 minutes away from beating the game, but I think we could probably maybe even start a new game if there's no new game plus, because there's a lot of collectibles. We found that the jars that we saw one of at the very beginning of the game will break when you yaw at them and yell at them. And we found a bunch of them, and we finally found a place that led me downward, and I'm not sure if I'm going the right direction or not, but seems like we are. This is a broken tower, so we could do that, but that might be the end of the game. Or I think there might be a collectible, and we're definitely trapped in this final tower section right now, at least. So unless a game opens up and allows me to travel around some more, I won't be able to run around. There's these blocks of paint that just seem to glow. Each one of these were where one of the jars were. Then there's also this, which this gets me over here. And so it's almost like take your pick. Do you want the going downward ending, or do you want the going upward ending? Or are we really going to just have to do both things? Let's see. Up here. Up here. Up here. This feels like a little bit more platforming than the rest of the game. I don't think they want me to jump that direction. And I can't make that jump. Alright. Now I've fallen. So we'll have to try again. I kind of forgot that I could jump over rocks for a second there in the last recording, and I had walked around it. I could see how if you start to forget that this is a platformer in a small part, that you would forget that you can do certain things. Okay. Both sides have a split section. This side ends right here. There's no collectible. Unless there's something that we can do that I don't know yet. Which, that feeling has been haunting me from the beginning, is that there are just some abilities and some interactions that are hidden in the game. The Witness had a major element that would be a spoiler to mention, where you had this ability from the word go as soon as you started the game, and it was hidden well enough that you wouldn't realize you could use that ability until you had hit the ending of the main playthrough and moved on to the second half of the game. That would get me up there. I think that's where it wants me to go, because it doesn't seem like there's anything else. There is a tunnel. And clearly that's the only way this could go. Some of these tunnels are really, really small. And narrow. This area is super, super dark. But I guess I just assume. And I can't yaw these flames because I'm not close. Like I can yaw that flame. And I think I'm supposed to have yawed all the flames in the entire game. Yeah, they do get brighter. When they get brighter, you can see more. Which, is that a keyhole? No, it's just brighter lights. I don't know if this is consistent and something that you are checking off internally in the game, though, for all eternity. And it does definitely feel like you would miss things. What's this? This looks like just a big shadow of a statue. Yeah, there's a collectible. It's been a long time since we found a collectible. And if it was a case where... So, wow. This is a good indication of just how much I've missed. I missed everything on the island. If this was a case that every yaw on the flames unlocked a gallery image, let's think about that for a second. Would then there possibly be some gallery images unlocked? No. So we just kind of missed everything. I feel like this also is where we started. So yeah, I feel like this was the start area. So either that's the very last emblem and you get them in incremental order, or that is the first of the last 4 emblems, and we've missed a lot. Right, these are glowing bright, but we've also seen some that aren't lit. So if this was some kind of puzzle game where the lighting one led to you lighting another, led you to lighting another, it doesn't seem like it really works that way. I guess we're gonna just go in circles until we find the one with the wind. That's what we're doing, is following the wind to the alcove that the wind is blowing into. I hope. Yeah, it is. That's where we were before. Our character sure isn't walking any slower with any trepidation. Where I feel like he probably should. because this is a little bit spooky, and if they wanted to stretch the game out, having the character not be able to just run quite as fast as he can in the rest of the game might be a good move. Alright, so this is straight up a puzzle. And we straight up are singing the song that's playing. We kind of need to know where we're walking because it feels like you can just walk off the ledge, and I assume you would just reset at that point. And so it seems like these statues that aren't lining up. It's almost Ariel-esque from The Little Mermaid. Yeah, it feels like I'm just lighting up the whole area. And this spilled paint, for lack of any other term that wouldn't be offensive, is just all over the place. Feels like this would have been a last minute addition to the game because they realized that it was just too dark in this section. It doesn't feel as well thought out as every other item that's placed around this area in this game. Like, everything else is sometimes broken but intentional, and placed in an intentional location where the paint is just splattered. And I guess what I'm doing is I'm running around looking for more of these, and they're all over the place. You can kind of see them. This is pretty incredibly dark, but it's not so dark that I can't see a black object in a background, against the background. But one probably would have to be pretty careful here not to miss something. I feel like I'm very possibly missing a few. It's not filling in any kind of constellations or anything. As it gets brighter, I suppose we can maybe find the ones we're missing. Yeah, I don't know if I'm missing any, actually. So let's see now. We basically started here. And it looks to me like this way gets you close. Nope. It's kind of dark in this section. but I don't see a statue. Just fall to my death and hope that doesn't reset me. Reset all the statues. Okay. So loop number 2. We missed one, obviously, somewhere. And let's avoid doing jumps. There is one there, I see. So that must be how we get to it. Question is, how do we get there? I guess maybe if I had found the solution very quickly. There should have been an easier version of this kind of puzzle earlier in the game. This does feel kind of like an odd final puzzle and a little too long to be our first attempt. Okay. And the cloaked red guy is once again moved. And from the looks of it, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a reward for lighting up all the statues or anything. Down, it seems like, is the only option. Just going down and down and down. Which again feels like an analogy. That was a bit of a cutscene for no reason. Or maybe it was just saving as I was jumping. But that felt like that was animated somewhat. Because that might also be the only point where you could jump that far. I feel like a lot of people would not have realized that you can light up the flames. It took me quite a while, but maybe this is the point where the game would have forced you to do it, and you would have realized that there was a bunch you couldn't do. Here we have another cutscene. Fox spirits jumping around the stairs. Going upward. Seems like there's a couple different levels. It'd be really weird if this was the final cutscene and the game is over. There could be like portals. There's a red caped person. It could have been the same red cape person the entire game, I suppose. Like, there's no reason why it couldn't be, since they seem to have a magical ability of. And then a big swirling water thing. Now this is a different kind of flame, so will this? Yes, I will. Interesting. But frankly, none of this has evolved into an element that needs to be done. It's just something I can do to distract myself from the fact that this is an incredibly short game that seems to have boiled down to just platforming at this point and a maze. So I'm wondering if the fox is a fire spirit, or if this is just love for the internet browser Firefox. Right. That. Like, I don't think I can get close enough to light. I don't think I can get close enough to light that. Like, you have to be pretty far and pretty at an odd angle. I can't hold down Y and bring up a targeting reticle or something that would say yell at that location. So I don't know how we get up there. I guess we're gonna do that by solving the puzzle that's in this room. Or unless these keys do just teleport us somewhere else. Again, you'd kind of expect your character to be a little trepidatious here and not just run towards a windy, dark area that is getting blurrier and blurrier because of the wind. Let's turn around and look behind ourselves just to make sure there's not a collectible. If they wanted me to run straight through this path, they shouldn't have had the entire game put rocks in my way. Now it's very sandy and it's almost like we're going to a desert location. So maybe we're just done with level 1. Music definitely crescendoed there to show a loading screen. And now we're just getting a cutscene. We're in the desert. We were never on an island. We're hallucinating. We're in the land of the world of Journey. So these characters were called Sentinels, the red-caped people. And yeah, we're just straight up playing Journey at this point. And you kind of just have to go here. And there was a achievement for being faster than the Sentinel. Here's a boat. And wait, we went from desert to snow. Like we're in ice now. Like how did we go from desert to snow in what feels like a hallucination? And he goes, wow, I can't control the camera and look around. I really would like to. You can see there's a big storm over an ice desert. And this was the loading screen that started the beginning of the game. Man, this is a super slow loading. I have an SSD, it's installed, it's super fast. That shouldn't have taken anywhere as much as that time. Particularly if you're just going to load into a cutscene where you could have had more loading going on. Alright, we are here. There's a bunch of statues all of a sudden of people turned to stone. There's a bunch of masked black ghosts. Japanese ghosts from Spirited Away, looks like. Well, we bumped into it and it turned into dust. we have a bunch of statues that we probably don't want to bump into. We have a bunch of ghosts. Do we have any kind of collectible anywhere? See, we could probably do this and just break them all. The fox is telling us to go that way. Like, we've already done it, so we might as well just fully commit. Free these spirits so they're not stuck in statues. That definitely did save something, some kind of achievement. And now we don't have the humming, we have a huh. And yeah, even if your choice was that you're gonna die and turn into one of these creatures, I think that would be better than being stuck in a statue. Unless of course we somehow find a magical way to save all those people. If that was the case, all of this needed to have been introduced way earlier in the story. This whole section feels like it's backstory that should have been told from the beginning, and it would have given us a reason to play the game at all. Because we really don't have a reason to play right now. Like, we were just solving puzzles and having fun, and now all of a sudden all of humanity apparently was turned into statues, and this area that feels like it was kind of a mausoleum is now also the home of some tragedy. And that cutscene just fast traveled us to a different area. Like, so that feels like there was more content that would have been in the game had this been given more of a budget and had they had more time. And frankly, I don't even think this is a budget issue as much as it is a employee number issue. Because you don't end up with a good looking game just because with a bad budget that's short. Well, you don't end up with a short good looking game with a low budget. You end up with a short good looking game. Apparently there's going to be a pterodactyl. Are we gonna really have a boss fight here? You run into a short, good-looking game when you can't program gameplay mechanics, and that's usually a lack of skill or a lack of people. And I thought we would be done with this game 30 minutes ago. This would be just a wrap-up episode, but apparently not. And then the game is really done a number. Wow. Take note on that coloring there. You have dark when you get to this point, and then just a abrupt change from gray darkish to super brown. They should have done that a little bit better. Then we have another sun moon puzzle. Let's see where this goes. I'd like to find the last few collectibles if I can. So they all break at the same time. that's a piece from the way. Wow, so we have no idea now when the collectibles are gonna be, or where, and we really don't have an idea how much more game there is. I have no idea how much I've actually missed, and how much I haven't. The fox wants me to do something. I guess we're in the past now. You can see people's buildings. So yeah, it feels like we transitioned in that cutscene from a future where the island was very green and full of life into a past where it's a bunch of people and they built the buildings, and they're not destroyed yet. I guess that's what we would take from that. Either that, or we're in the distant future where things were fixed and repaired again. So it just stole the ball that controls time. Why there are magical balls that can control time? Like, the idea of being able to control time in general would have to be some power that only one person could have. Otherwise there'd be people all around the planet constantly fighting, and it would eventually just boil down to everybody always being at a decent amount of light, I'd imagine. Or a giant committee around the world. The UN has determined we will have 2 weeks of winter of night to combat global warming or something like that. Yeah, so it looks like we're gonna run this way to a whole different area. This would be another great point where a map would be helpful if this showed that we were distinctly in the same place we were. But I don't know if that's really the case, or if we're just in a completely different place. And even that would be fine if that's what they wanted to show me. But the story does seem very odd, because now with the boats we're getting a little away from being Greek and more into being Vikings. Maybe he was a Viking the whole time. He does have tattoos, oddly, on his chest. But I was thinking, yeah, this was more of a Greek-Roman marble-esque world, and maybe that was wrong. Let's see, all we can do is pause, and if I needed to reload the last checkpoint to get to the island that we started on, I don't think there's any way to do that right now. We're still looking for outfits. We're still looking for toys. And one would assume that I've just missed all the toys up to the pinwheel. And maybe I missed a boat. We still haven't seen anything with wind chimes, and we still don't know what that other thing is. As far as emblems go, we found an emblem that I thought we'd missed, so we're now in a weird position. Still no keyholes and no lullabies. But we did unlock gallery images. No way to make them full. And frankly, I like the gallery images being in the games, but I also would like the images to be in the format of a free DLC when you buy the game. a picture, because if I wanted to set this, for instance, as my background on my desktop, which is not something I think many people do these days, but even if I wanted to do this, I'd like a nice 4K resolution or even 8K resolution image if I can get it. Even a 1080p resolution would be better than what I'd have to do, which would be pressing print screen, then manually trying to crop this image, and then stretching it as a desktop background. And of course, when you're making a game, you have these pieces of art already made. They're pretty much made from before you even start making the game as a way of getting funding. So these concept art pieces, and frankly, as this is a game that feels like it's been E3'd or it E3'd itself by showing the pretty graphics and then taking too long to come out after its initial announcement, I wouldn't be upset if a lot of initial announcements of games are just based on concept art alone. But they don't want to do that because then they don't want to overpromise or underpromise. Is there a boat somewhere? Like, is there a whole area like this? I haven't seen it yet. Then there's like a giant ball creature. We may only be 1/4 of the way done with the game, or it could be that we have unlocked 1/4 of the emblems. Would that be correct? Let's see, we've got 6 out of what would be 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18. That would be about 1/3 of the emblems have been collected. So yeah, maybe you have to get 1/3 of your emblems to get the first set, and then you get the final set when you beat the game, if you get everything, or maybe you get the final set just for beating the game. That could be it. I also wouldn't be surprised if you get a new outfit for beating the game, or even a toy for beating the game. I still don't know what the keyholes are though. There's really no indication at all what that is. Well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.